Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the Israeli High Court of Justice issued an order for the demolition of 17 houses in the Jewish settlement of Netiv Avot, saying they are situated on privately owned Palestinian lands. An explosion destroyed a Falcon 9 rocket together with an Israeli communications satellite Amos 6, bringing into question the entire future of satellite communications in Israel. French Prime Minister Manuel Valls reveals that some 900 Muslim French nationals still seek to go to Syria or Iraq to join the Islamic State. Contrary to an Israeli government's position, the High Court of Justice in Jerusalem issued an order for the demolition of 17 houses in the Jewish settlement of Netiv Avot in the West Bank Etzion block, since they are situated on what the court defined as Palestinian land. The High Court of Justice ruled that the state must demolish 15 of the houses within 18 months, while 2 of the houses have to be demolished within 3 months. In the ruling, the judges stated that they had weighed the option of retroactive legalization, but based on the Israeli law, it was legally impossible. In response to the ruling, Education Minister Naftali Bennett said that this was a very severe ruling. Bennett claimed that extreme left-wing organizations that have despaired of convincing the people of Israel of the need to establish a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, which is the biblical term for the West Bank, have adopted to a route that bypasses the public and are exploiting the Israeli justice system as a tool for enforcing the minority's policy on the majority. The education minister warned when the High Court of Justice lends a hand to this phenomenon, it erodes the public's confidence in the judicial system. In response to the criticism leveled by the right-wing politicians at Israel's Supreme Court, Knesset member Tzipi Livni rebuked the Israeli Minister of Education, saying he has to understand once and for all that democracy is not the tyranny of the majority without restrictions, but rather a set of values and rule of law which are safeguarded by the Supreme Court, particularly since the majority's position is not to build illegally in all kinds of isolated settlements. Now to another matter, an explosion destroyed a Falcon 9 rocket together with an Israeli communication satellite called the Amos 6. The rocket belonged to Elon Musk's SpaceX, while the satellite to the Israeli Spacecom. The incident occurred during preparations for a routine test firing at the United States Cape Canaveral in Florida, 2 days before it was scheduled to blast off and place the Amos 6 satellite in orbit. Musk, a billionaire entrepreneur who helped found Tesla Motors, said on Twitter that the rocket's loss occurred while it was being filled with propellant, and the problem originated around the upper stage oxygen tank. It was not immediately known to what extent SpaceX's launch pad was damaged, or what the impact would be on the dozens of NASA and commercial satellite missions on its launch schedule. Businessman Shaul Elovich, owner of the Israeli Spacecom, could pay the price for the rocket blowing up. Last week, a contract was signed for the sale of the Israeli Spacecom to the Chinese company Xinhui for some $285 million. Some of the conditions for the sale, however, was a successful launch of the Amos 6, which could mean the cancellation of the deal. Another significant blow to the Israeli company is the fact that the Amos 6 was supposed to serve leading governmental agencies in Israel and replace the aging Amos 2. Professor Yitzhak Ben Israel, chairman of the Israel Space Agency, said the disastrous incident brings into question the entire future of satellite communications in Israel. Also, Mark Zuckerberg hurried to express sorrow over the explosion, saying that this would harm Facebook's activity in Africa, as the satellite was meant to provide broadband lines to the continent. Now, with regard to the ongoing conflict in Israel's northern neighbor, UN Special Envoy to Syria, Staffan de Mistura, said that talks between senior Russian and American officials aiming for cessation of hostilities in Syria are likely to last into the weekend as the conflict intensifies further.
The discussions, and you are aware of it, in this building, while we are talking and while we are meeting, are ongoing at a very senior military, security, and diplomatic level between the Russian Federation officers at a very senior level and American officers and representatives. They are taking place since yesterday and they are ongoing.
According to reports from within the northern Syrian city of Aleppo, food was running out there for the civilian population, a fact that signifies the urgency of the matter of reaching an immediate ceasefire, at least a 48-hour truce.
Aleppo is one of the areas where we are ready to go immediately when there is a 48-hour pause. We're still negotiating the access road and the modalities of this, including with the armed opposition groups. It's urgent that we get an agreement. We were informed today that there are now 4,000 food rations left. That would be enough for 20,000 people, and the population of East Aleppo is 250,000. I'm hopeful that we will have a breakthrough.
Meanwhile, in Turkey, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declared that a Turkish-backed incursion into northern Syria was going successfully and that a 400-square-kilometer area had been cleared of the Islamic State and the US-backed Kurdish YPG militia force.
400 kilometre karenin üzerinde bir alan, DAEŞ ve PYD ve YPG gibi terör örgütlerinden arındırılmıştır. Çok kısa zamanda elde edilen bu başarı, Özgür Suriye ordusunun DAEŞ'le pekala mücadele edebileceğini de ortaya koymuştur.
Turkey, which is battling a decades-long Kurdish insurgency at home, fears Kurdish-aligned forces' aims to capture areas previously held by the Islamic State, giving them control of an unbroken swath of territory running along the Turkish border. Since the start of the campaign, the Turkish army has said it has bombed dozens of targets that it says were held by the Kurdish YPG militia, a powerful force in the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces. The YPG says, however, that its forces withdrew from the area along the border with Turkey before Turkey's assault. Washington has criticized the fighting between Turkish and Kurdish forces, urging both sides to focus the fighting against the Islamic State. Now to another matter, French Prime Minister Manuel Valls said during a press conference in Paris that some 700 French nationals are currently in war zones in Iraq and in Syria, posing a significant threat to French national security once they decide to return to the European state.
Nous avons face à nous un défi considérable, alors que près de 700 djihadistes français ou résidant en France se trouvent actuellement dans des zones de combat en Irak et en Syrie. Leur retour, d'ailleurs, représente une menace supplémentaire pour notre sécurité nationale.
The French Prime Minister also revealed that according to the French intelligence services, some 900 French nationals still seek to go to Syria or Iraq to join the Islamic State, while stressing that this phenomenon was true to other EU member states as well.
Je vous rappelle que 191 Français résidant en France y ont trouvé la mort, que 900, selon nos services, veulent s'y rendre. Ces phénomènes, d'autres pays les connaissent.
The phenomenon of Muslims from Western countries seeking to join the Islamic State is far from eradicated, even though the extreme Muslim group faces significant losses of both fighters and lands. Turkey revealed that it has some 2,200 foreigners who attempted to join the Islamic State in custody, while sources revealed to TV7 that many of the foreigners are European nationals. Thank you for watching us. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan of Erev Tov and Shabbat Shalom. We will see you again on Monday at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo, located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.